Beneath the golden sands of the Sahara lies a civilization shrouded in mystery, ancient Egypt. From towering pyramids that defy modern engineering to hieroglyphs that whisper secrets of the past, Egypt's ancient world has fascinated historians and explorers for centuries. Who really built the pyramids? What hidden knowledge did the pharaohs possess? And how did this ancient empire achieve such astonishing feats with the tools of their time? Today, we're diving deep into the heart of this legendary civilization to uncover secrets, solve mysteries, and explore the wonders of ancient Egypt like never before. Today, we will talk about inside the mysterious world of ancient Egypt. So before we get started, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to my channel. The land and the Nile. At the heart of ancient Egypt's greatness was the Nile River. This life-giving river flowed from south to north, bringing water, food, and transportation to the people who lived along its banks. Every year, the Nile would flood, leaving behind rich black soil that made farming possible in an otherwise desert land. Without the Nile, there would have been no Egypt. The Nile was more than just a river. It was a symbol of life and order. The Egyptians believed it was a gift from the gods, and they built their cities, temples, and tombs along its shores. It shaped their calendar, their religion, and their economy. It was the reason they could develop a stable and lasting civilization, while other regions struggled to survive. The power of the pharaohs. In ancient Egypt, the pharaoh was more than just a king. He was seen as a living god. He was believed to be the human form of Horus, the sky god, and after death, he became Osiris, the god of the afterlife. This divine status gave the pharaoh absolute power. His word was law, and his role was to maintain harmony in the universe, a concept known as Ma'at. Pharaohs wore crowns that symbolized their rule over both Upper and Lower Egypt. They were buried in elaborate tombs filled with treasures, food, and statues, all meant to serve them in the afterlife. Some of the most famous pharaohs, like Ramses the Great, Akhenaten, and of course Tutankhamun, left behind incredible legacies that we're still uncovering today. The pharaoh's court was filled with advisors, priests, and scribes, all of whom played a role in running the kingdom. Every major decision, from war to worship, was carried out in the name of the pharaoh, whose image and name were carved into temples, statues, and even everyday items. The wonders of Egyptian architecture. When people think of ancient Egypt, they often picture the pyramids. These giant stone structures, especially the Great Pyramid of Giza, are among the most iconic monuments in the world. Built as tombs for the pharaohs, the pyramids were designed to help the dead rulers ascend to the heavens. The precision and scale of these buildings are so advanced that some still wonder how the Egyptians managed to construct them with the tools of their time. But pyramids were just the beginning. The Egyptians also built massive temples like Karnak and Luxor, decorated with towering columns, walls filled with hieroglyphs, and statues of gods and kings. These structures weren't just beautiful. They were sacred spaces where priests performed rituals to honor the gods and protect the land. Even homes, although made from simpler mud brick, reflected the importance of order and harmony in Egyptian life. The architectural achievements of this civilization continue to inspire awe thousands of years later. The religion of the Nile. Religion was at the core of Egyptian life. The ancient Egyptians believed in many gods and goddesses, each with a specific role. Ra, the sun god, traveled across the sky by day and through the underworld at night. Isis, the goddess of magic and motherhood, was deeply loved by the people. Anubis, with the head of a jackal, guided the souls of the dead, and Osiris ruled over the afterlife. Temples were built to honor these deities, and priests performed daily offerings and rituals. The Egyptians believed the gods controlled everything, from the flooding of the Nile to the success of crops and health of the pharaoh. Religious festivals were held throughout the year, and people carried amulets, said prayers, and even had household shrines. The afterlife was a major focus. They believed that death was just the beginning of a new life, and preparing for it was a lifelong duty. The language of the ancients. Hieroglyphics were the written language of ancient Egypt. These symbols, carved into stone or painted on walls, told the stories of kings, gods, battles, and daily life. Reading hieroglyphics was a skill reserved for scribes, who trained for years to master these symbols was lost until the discovery of the Rosetta Stone. This single artifact, inscribed in Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphics, allowed scholars to finally decode the ancient language in the 19th century. Daily life in ancient Egypt. While pharaohs built pyramids and priests honored the gods, ordinary Egyptians lived surprisingly organized lives. Most people were farmers, working the land provided by the Nile's floods. They grew wheat, barley, vegetables, and raised animals like cattle and goats. In towns and cities, craftsmen made pottery, jewelry, and furniture. Merchants traded goods like linen, papyrus, and gold with other regions. Families lived in modest homes, and children were taught trades from a young age. Women had more rights than in many other ancient cultures. They could own property, run businesses, and even serve as priestesses. The mystery of the mummies. One of the most fascinating practices of ancient Egypt was mummification. The Egyptians believed the body had to be preserved for the soul to live on in the afterlife. Mummification was a complex process that involved removing the internal organs, drying the body with natron salt, and wrapping it in linen. Each step was performed with care and religious rituals. The organs were placed in special jars, and sacred spells were recited to protect the deceased. The face was often covered with a mask, and the mummy was placed in a decorated coffin before being sealed in a tomb. The legacy of ancient Egypt. Even after thousands of years, the impact of ancient Egypt is still felt. Its art, writing, and ideas continue to influence the world. Modern architecture borrows from its style. Museums across the globe display its artifacts. Hollywood movies, books, and documentaries are still inspired by its mystery and grandeur. What makes ancient Egypt so unique is that it was both deeply spiritual and highly practical. It built monuments to honor the gods, but also created systems for farming, law, and medicine. A timeless civilization. Ancient Egypt wasn't just a chapter in history. It was a world of its own. A world where humans believed they could speak to the gods, where death was only the beginning, and where knowledge, power, and beauty came together to build something eternal. Its legacy continues to shape our understanding of the ancient world and reminds us of the mysteries that time cannot erase. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.